Hello friends, myself Dr. Sangeeta Shaha will be discussing about asymptomatic COVID-19 infections. As we all know, from the end of December 2019, the novel coronavirus began to spread in Wuhan, China. On February 11, 2020, the World Health Organization officially named this disease as Coronavirus Disease 2019, and the International Committee on Taxonomy of Viruses named the virus as Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2 or SARS-CoV-2. Since the outbreak, the COVID-19 has brought major harm and challenges to more than 200 countries and regions around the world. However, there is increasing evidence that many patients with COVID-19 are asymptomatic or have only mild symptoms. But the problem is that they are able to transmit the virus to others, which makes it more difficult for national prevention and control of this epidemic. Now let us see what do we mean by asymptomatic and symptomatic. Symptomatic means showing symptom. When a person has the common symptoms associated with a disease or condition, he or she is considered as symptomatic. Whereas, when a disease exists without noticeable symptom, the person is considered as asymptomatic. Incubation period. The incubation period means the time between catching the virus and beginning to have symptoms of the disease. Most estimates of the incubation period for COVID-19 range from 1 to 14 days, most commonly around 5 to 6 days. Research results showed that people who get infected with the coronavirus can spread it to others 2 to 3 days before symptoms start and are most contagious 1 to 2 days before even they feel the sick or the symptom. There are two terms, asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic. Asymptomatic refers to people who are infected but never develop any symptom, while the pre-symptomatic refers to infected people who have not yet developed symptoms but go on to develop symptoms later. Thus, both these asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic cases can transmit the virus to others. Therefore, finding asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic infections is the key point for early prevention and control of this COVID-19 worldwide. In our clinical practice, we can get three types of cases. Contagious with no symptom, contagious people who will develop symptoms in future, contagious with symptoms. Thus, to better prevent and control the risk of COVID-19 disease, it is recommended to screen for high-risk population, such as close contacts, especially in one confined space with diagnosed or suspected infected patient, who will be helpful for early control of this global epidemic effectively. Thus, a person who is a close contact, a suspect, or with an asymptomatic infection should be quarantined for 14 days. After the quarantine period expires, in principle, those who have negative test results for 2 consecutive samples of nucleic acid and the sampling interval of at least 24 hours can be released from quarantine. If symptoms occur during quarantine, the person should be monitored by doctor or admitted immediately depending upon the intensity of manifestation by the patient. Case records of different individuals with COVID-19 reveals that many people have different clinical signs. COVID-19 manifestation can be divided into asymptomatic, mild, moderate, severe and critical cases. But all such cases have RT-PCR for COVID-19 positive. Studies have also shown that the asymptomatic infections are more common in populations of young and middle-aged individuals with functional performance status without underlying diseases. As discussed, asymptomatic cases means no clinical symptom and no abnormal chest imaging findings, whereas Mild cases may have fever, fatigue, cough, anorexia, malaise, muscle pain, sore throat, dyspnea, nasal congestion, headache, loss of smell and taste. In this case also there is no abnormal chest imaging findings. The moderate case may present with mild or moderate clinical features, but the chest imaging showed mild pneumonia manifestation. Whereas a severe case shows suspected respiratory infection symptoms along with shortness of breath, respiratory rate more than 30, oxygen saturation less than 93%. Here also the chest imaging showed the lesions significantly. A critical case may present with rapid progress of disease. It may even lead to respiratory failure, shock requiring mechanical ventilation and a very proper ICU monitoring and treatment. We can say COVID-19, the more we understand it, the better we can fight it. Thus, to prevent the transmission, we have to know the mode of transmission of COVID-19 infection. The transmission of COVID-19, human atomization of viruses arises from coughing or sneezing of an infected person, producing virus-containing droplets and aerosol. Virus transmission from person to person occurs through direct or indirect contact and airborne aerosol or droplet routes. Large droplets mainly settle off air to cause person or object contamination, whereas aerosols are efficiently dispersed in air. Direct and airborne transmission occur in short range and extent distance respectively. Inhaled airborne viruses deposit directly into the human respiratory tract. We all know that prevention is better than cure. For prevention, we have to know that who can be a contact. A contact can be a person staying in the same house without proper protection with COVID-19 patient, or staying in the same close environment as a COVID-19 patient, which may include workplace, classroom, household or gatherings. Or the person traveling together in close proximity less than 1 meter with a symptomatic or an asymptomatic person who later tested positive for COVID-19. A contact can be a person providing direct care to a COVID-19 patient. The infection may have been transferred within a 14-day period before the onset of illness in the case under consideration. Thus, to prevent, we have to avoid the 3 C's. Be aware of different levels of risk in different settings. There are certain places where COVID-19 spreads more easily. It can be crowded places with many people nearby, or close contact settings, especially where people have close range conversations. Or it can be confined and closed spaces with poor ventilation. The risk is higher in places where these factors overlap. Now we can say, even as restrictions are lifted, consider where you are going and stay safe by avoiding these 3 C's. So, to stop the spread of germs, what should we do? Avoid crowded places and limit time in enclosed spaces. Maintain at least 1 meter distance from others. When possible, open windows and doors for ventilation. Keep hands clean by frequently washing or using sanitizers. When in public, always wear a mask over your nose and mouth properly. Do not touch your eyes, nose or mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. Cover your face whenever you are coughing or sneezing with a tissue, and then throw the tissue in the trash and wash your hand properly. Stay home if you feel unwell. Self-isolate if you have fever, cough, headache, runny nose, etc. If you have a high fever, cough or difficulty in breathing, seek medical attention and call in advance. Always follow the direction of your local health authority. Call the doctor or the health personnel in advance, which will allow your health care provider to quickly direct you to the right health facility. This will also protect you and help prevent spread of viruses and other infection to the person nearby. Also stay aware of the latest COVID-19 information by regularly checking updates from the World Health Organization and your national and local public health authorities. Together, we can fight coronavirus.